Hey, Connor.
What?
Want to hear a joke?
No.
Okay, so there's this guy, and he's like this, scientist, MIT, Stanford type guy, and he decides he's going to do some additions to his house. And because he's such a smart guy, and he's also, good at like construction and stuff, he decides he's going to do it himself. So for part of the project, he's going to build a new chimney for his house, and he, does the calculations and makes the blueprints and figures everything out, and realizes that for the chimney he only needs 99 bricks, like exactly 99 bricks. So he goes to Home Depot and he's like, "Hey, can I buy 99 bricks?" And the guy said, "I'm sorry, dude, but we only sell 10 and 150. We only sell even number of bricks." And the guy's like, "Well, I don't want to waste a brick," so he leaves and he goes to the Home Depot, a town over, and he goes, "Hey, can I buy 100 bricks?" And the guy's like, "You're 99 bricks." And the guy's like, "Oh, we only saw 150. And the guy's like, "Okay." So, he goes from Home Depot to Home Depot. He looks in the whole tri-state area, and he can't find a pack of 99 bricks. Everyone just sells in even amounts. So, finally he just goes, okay, I'll bite the bullet. I'll waste the brick, but I'll buy, 100 bricks. So he buys 100 bricks, and he makes the chimney, and he layers it up, and what do you know? It only takes 99 bricks. So what does he do with the last brick?
I don't know.
He throws it up in the air! You don't get it. No. Why do they have this channel? No.
William!
Oh my god, what happened?
I got mugged!
What'd they take?
My picture!
What?
My picture. They put it on this mug. It only costs like $3.50. You should totally try it too.
Hey Connor, I got another joke. Okay, so this duck walks into a bar, and he asks the bartender, "You got any grapes?" And the bartender says, "No, sorry." And so the duck walks out of the bar, and he comes back the next day, and he goes, "Hey, do you got any grapes?" And the bartender says, No, we don't have any grapes." Duck walks out, comes back the next day, and says, "Hey, do you got any grapes?" And the bartender's like, "No, we still don't have any grapes." So, Duck walks out, and he comes back the next day, and he says, "Hey, got any grapes?" And the bartender says, "No. And if you ask me one more time if we have grapes, I'm going to nail your beak to the counter." Duck's like, "Oh, okay," and walks out. But, the next day arrives, and the duck comes back to the bar. And he goes up to the bartender and says, "Hey, got any nails?" "No." "Got any grapes?" You win this time, Gazebo, but mark my words, next episode! I got another joke. Okay, so it's recess time at kindergarten, and the teacher's inside, writing on the blackboard and stuff, and recess ends, and, the kids start to come back in. So, first Sally comes back in. The teacher goes, "Hey, Sally, how's it going? What'd you do for recess?" And Sally goes, "Oh, I played in the sandbox with Jack." The teacher goes, "Oh, that's very good, Sally. If you can spell sand, I'll give you a cookie." So, Sally spells out sand, and, the teacher gives her a cookie, and, goes and sits down. And then Jack comes in. The teacher goes, "Hey, Jack, how's it going?" And Jack's like, "Pretty good." And the teacher goes, hey, what did you do for recess? And Jack goes, well, I played in the sandbox with Sally. And the teacher goes, oh, cool, Jack. If you can spell box, I'll give you a cookie. So, Jack spells out box, and the teacher gives her a cookie. And then, the teacher's waiting around, and Mahak Mahid comes in. And the teacher goes, hey, Mahak, how's it going? And Mahak goes, oh, not that well. And the teacher goes, uh-oh, that sounds bad. What happened? And Mahak says, well, I tried to play in the sandbox with Sally and Jack, but they threw rocks at me. And the teacher goes, wow, that sounds like blatant racial discrimination. If you can spell blatant racial discrimination, I'll give you a cookie. And then he does, because, Indian people are freaking smart.
He's a fish swimming through the air like it's no big deal. Doesn't even care that flying fish aren't real. He's just so cool, soaring through the sky. How now you'd be a fool to say the fish can't fly. He's a fish.
Okay, so there's this guy, and he is a smoker. One of those 2 packs a day, like 4 packs a day, constantly smoking cigars, cigarettes, pipes, hookah. He smokes everything. He is a smoker. And the one thing he can't stand in the world is little yappy dogs. People that bring their dogs in handbags, little small dogs. They drive him nuts. He hates them. So he's getting on a plane. He's going from Hawaii to California. And on the same plane, there's this woman, and she hates smokers. She can't stand them. The odor, the smell. She just doesn't understand how someone can waste their life that way. She just hates them. But the one thing that brings her solace and happiness is her little dog, Boo Boo, her little poodle that she carries everywhere in her handbag, everywhere. So, the 2 people on the same plane, and what do you know? They're sitting right next to each other. Same, it's 2 seats, same row, right next to each other. So, this is back in the day, like in the 60s. And so the plane, it takes off, and it goes up into the air, and, the guy lights up his cigarette, his pipe or whatever, and he starts puffing away, and the dog starts barking, and, the 2, they turn at each other, and they start arguing, they start yelling, they start fighting, it's going crazy, people around them are frightened. Finally, someone calls the flight attendant. The flight attendant comes up. She says, I know how to stop. I know how to settle this. So, she grabs the pipe from the guy and she throws it out the window. She grabs the dog and she throws it out the window. Closes the window and says, okay, it's there. We're done. And walks away. So, after a couple minutes of shock and, realization, finally the one roadblock between them is done, and they start talking and they start sharing stuff, and they like the same books, and they listen to the same bands, and they live in the same town in California, and they know all these people, and they fall in love. They're soulmates. They fall madly in love, and as the plane starts circling around Los Angeles, the man gets down on his knees and he pulls out a ring, and he asks the woman if she'll marry him. So they're all in love, and the plane lands in Los Angeles, and they get out and they're walking. The 2 new lovebirds, the 2 soon-to-be married couple. And they look over and they look at the wing and they see something. It's the poodle, and he's holding something in his hand. Guess what he's holding?
The ring?
No, the brick.